How you doing, man?
Blessed.
Stop and say hi.
Okay. Are either of you a Christian?
Yeah. The thing is, too, by the way, is just be careful with the traffic.
Oh yeah, we always are.
Don't block it.
Yeah, I made sure to stand where.
Going around the corner.
Yes. Are you a Christian?
I can't get into my religious aspect.
Well, it's an important matter. You know, it's an important matter because one day we're all going to die and stand before God.
I know that you just seen something on TV about Roe versus Wade.
Yeah. Well,
with all that, somewhat.
You got something about Roe versus Wade. It's about the doctrine of the lesser magistrates.
Yep.
And what that deals with how to actually abolish abortion, how to restore justice in this culture and right here in our country. And we don't actually have to overturn Roe versus Wade. We just can defy it outright. And because the state of Wisconsin actually defied the, I don't know if you're familiar with the Federal Fugitive Slave Act that was passed in the 1850s. It basically said that if a person, otherwise known as a slave, ran away, then every citizen had the duty to make sure they were returned back to their master if they came upon him. Every citizen.
Right.
And so we would all recognize that as an evil, not a law, but an evil ordinance, or I guess you can call it a bad law that needs to be defied. Well, that happened right here in Wisconsin, where a runaway slave, Joshua Glover, he was captured and he was put in the Milwaukee County Jail. And a man named Sherman Booth, he led a group of about 5,000 people to break him out of jail. And Joshua Glover, he made it safely to Canada, but the ringleader, Joshua Glover, who led all those people, he was charged under the Federal Fugitive Slave Act. But the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and the legislature of the state, they defied the federal government and the U.S. Supreme Court, and said that the Federal Fugitive Slave Act was null, void, and of no force. And that's what we need to do with Roe v. Wade.
Okay.
Is to declare it null, void, and of no force.
So you're just expressing your thoughts on what should happen with it right now.
Well, I'm just saying that's what happened in history in this state,
yes.
And that's what we should be doing with Roe v. Wade and the Supreme Court, is defying them over the matter of murder. Because this is worse than slavery, because people are being murdered every day.
No, and I most certainly get that, and I'm not harassing you or anything like that.
No, I appreciate that.
Come and talk to you.
Yeah.
So, are you guys from the area? Where are you from?
Well, we're not far from here. We're not, like, we don't live in the city. We wanted to reach people in a smaller town.
Sure.
Because we're in big cities and people just don't care. So we wanted to go to a small town and see if the people would care anymore. Okay. And
how long are you gonna be hanging out? Just so we know.
Probably for a while.
Okay. All right. Just be safe about it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, officers.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your service.